Hello everybody, Reggie Time here, and today we are playing some 16 and 20 No Limit Hold'em in a Filipino club that I do some affiliate work with. I know I've been playing PLO lately and I'm enjoying it personally, but you guys don't enjoy the videos. And given that my channel is, a lot of the big part of why I make these videos is to try and promote my affiliate business. I guess we need to be making some more no limit hold'em videos. So here we go. I'm genuinely looking forward to playing. I haven't played No Limit Hold'em that much in the last week or so, so it feels a little bit fresher than usual to me. And I still enjoy watching No Limit Hold'em. And yesterday I didn't feel too clever. Not sure what it was. Just had a day where I felt under par a little bit in with my physical health. Not sure, a bit lethargic. I slept badly the night before, so I didn't play a lot of poker yesterday. And I've been watching like the old high stakes poker on Poker Go, and it was season 5. It was Tom Dwan's first season, and Patrick Antonius played, and the game's just a lot more aggressive, a lot more creative lines being taken. And I enjoyed watching it, so it's inspired me to play some No Limit Hold'em today. I was probably going to have a game of No Limit anyway, so making a video too is pretty cool. And some of the things that I picked up on rewatching those old shows back were game flow was very different. There wasn't much stuff that even back then was a thing, like, oh, I'm not the pre-flop raiser, so I'm going to check to the raiser. And like betting and raise sizings were very different to what we're typically expecting to see in our games today. So today we're going to try and we're not going to play as loosely as those guys because I'm just not a loose player. But we're going to try and like mimic some of the styles that we saw back there, like people like Tom and Dwan just like donking into 3 players with second pair and stuff like that. Just going to get it in here with the low straight, and if he's got a higher straight, then hallelujah. He does not have a higher straight, but he does now have a flush. So goes. Yeah, so we're going to be doing, basically we're just going to be doing what we think. We're going to be doing whatever the fuck we want, basically. Going to be a lot of like leading out into the pre-flop raiser. There's going to be a lot of just betting into people with marginal hands who don't have a high c-bet frequency. Like, for example, if this guy raises, well, he's gone now, so that's that fucked. Let's find someone else with a low c-bet percentage. There aren't actually many at these tables. In fact, there's hardly none. So we might be doing a fair bit of checking to the raisers in these games. But when I see players with like a c-bet stat, which is this stat here, of like in the 40s, we're not going to bother checking to them to see if they stab. We're just going to, if we have anything that we're going to continue with versus the bet, do we have like a check call or a check raising hand, we're probably just going to be leading out with it. So little things like that. We're going to be using a lot smaller sizes for our opens. We're going to be 2.2xing because I think the larger the SPR, the more creative you can be post-flop. I think one thing that I loved about watching them high-stakes poker games is they played super deep. They're like 250 odd blinds deep when everyone started, and it left room for like loads more creativity post-flop than I think you find in 100 big blind buy-ins, no limit cash games online, or people with even less than 100 big blinds. So we're going to use a lot more small sizings pre-flop to try and have more generous SPRs post-flop, so we can do some funky stuff. This guy 3-bets 3%, but I'm not folding. I don't think this is necessarily a very good call, given he's 3-bet us and he's a passive player, but it's just too small. If he had more money, it'd be a slam dunk call. The only reason I debated folding was because of his stack size. If he bets really big here, we're just going to fold, and he just bet the absolute maximum, so never mind. We might have folded the best hand there, but seems unlikely. So yeah, we're going to try and be creative. We're not going to be playing. I mean, I don't play anything resembling a GTO style anyway. It's going to be anything but that today. It's just going to be, if I like my hand and I'm going to continue versus aggression, then I'm just going to be the one taking the more aggressive lines rather than checking to people and like guessing what's going on. We're going to bet. I mean, I guess the old school way of describing it would be I'm going to be doing a lot of bets to find out where we're at. Now that's not what we're doing. It's not why we're betting, but what that does kind of mean is we're going to bet our 9 here. Yeah, we're just going to bet it. We can't really call if someone stabs the turn. We haven't really got a calling hand with our 9-8 off, so we're just going to bet. I'm going to get check min raise, which is funny. This guy check raises 25%, which is off the fucking charts. No. So yeah, the whole betting for information thing, that's what they used to say back in the day. You'll hear Gabe Kaplan saying it on High Stakes Poker. If I was so-and-so there, I'd have put a little bet in, find out where I was at. Fucking hell, how often does my fucking phone ring when I'm making a video? Stop it. We're not having it. Right, let the phone fucking ring because I'll lose track of what I'm saying otherwise. Are you going to finish one? Thank you. So yeah, he was saying like, oh, to put a little bet in or a little reason to find out where he's at, and that isn't a good enough reason on its own to bet. But if you can bet, like I don't know, say you've got bottom pair, and your opponent hasn't got a very high c-bet frequency, you know, we can just like lead out with shit like that. If he calls or raises, then we know we're probably in trouble. But we've probably got some equity with bottom pair, you know, with chances to turn trips, turn 2 pairs. Maybe sometimes we've got bottom pair with a backdoor draw that we can continue being aggressive on. So what I'm going to be doing is, anytime I'm in a hand where I think I either have the best hand or there's going to be a lot of turn cards where I can remain aggressive, should my bet get called, then we're going to be doing a lot of betting in spots where, you know, common like modern poker logic would be saying, no, you need to check back here. Like here, for example, we're betting middle pair, and we're going to continue on a 9, a jack, or a club. So we're going to fire a second barrel here now, and then probably give up on the river if he calls again and we don't improve. So yeah, basically, going to be aggressive. By being aggressive, you either pick the pot up, you build a pot that you can maybe win with a bluff later street, you build a pot that maybe you can win with the best hand on a later street if your hand improves. And so all of those things are good. And on top of that, whether we like it or not, and whether we like the phrase or not, we do gain information. We gain more information when we bet than we do when we check. So you're putting the pieces together on the flop of the turn, which will hopefully lead to you making far better river decisions because you just got much more reliable information to deal with. So yeah, we're going to be we're basically going to be betting lots of hands that lots of you guys will look at who are studying from like a solver point of view, saying, oh no, you shouldn't be betting that there. You shouldn't be betting that there. You shouldn't be raising. We're going to be doing a lot of like betting and raising that theoretically we maybe shouldn't be doing, but I think in practice is really quite useful to do. So yeah, get ready to be a little bit like, what the fuck is this fat cunt doing? Why am I raising at 2.1 blind? I should have had my 2.2. So why was that 2.1? I don't understand. Anyway, never mind. And also the benefit of raising small pre-flop is you can defend way more versus 3-bets, which is always nice because being 3-bet sucks balls. But if we can defend more versus 3-bets, then it sucks balls less, basically. And so let's see if this... See, it comes up as 2.2 there. Who knows? Who knows? Isolate the 7-6 against a short stack limper. Again, might not be great because it's not going to leave us with a decent SPR to work with post flop. But he folds anyway. Now we do have a reasonable SPR to work with post flop. This is the guy who likes to check raise a lot. He's going to be meeting Mr. 3-bet here. Because you can't check raise as much as him and always have it. So we're going to raise, and if this is the time he does have it, we're going to get it in and hope to get there. And he just folds. Happy days. Now you can't check raise 25%, sir, and expect to be given credit. Not on my watch. Not in my house. That shit doesn't happen. You raise 25%, you check raise 25%, and yeah, then we're going to get into some post-flop pissing contests, I'm afraid. And if nothing else, it'll be fun. You know, when you run to the top of his range, it'll be a cunt, but never mind. Yeah, why is that 2.1 big blinds? Maybe it's going to play the 16 and L. I think at 20 it goes to 2.2. Maybe it's a 16 and L thing. Who knows, but it doesn't make a lot of difference. Now he's got his 3-bet on, has he? Nah, this guy's just too crazy. He's just too crazy, I'm afraid. So we're going to be willing to get it in with the 10s. There's some extra dead money here. He calls. We get a really good flop. We've got 3/4 pot size bet left, so we just pile it in. And he folds. And we're in really good shape against the King 10 too. Beautiful. Beautiful. I don't understand this 2.0. It's 16L again. Ignore me. I'm gonna stop rabbiting on about it now. So we've double barreled here on a 5, on a heart, maybe on a deuce and a 7-2, but the King's come off, which theoretically is probably a good card for us to double barrel on. But in practice, it's going to be better cards for us to barrel on than that. So, in terms of better cards for our hand. And would you fold a jack or a 6 to the turn just because the King rolls off? Probably not. Waddles. That's what I was doing this morning after I got off the fucking toilet. I was doing some waddling because it wasn't an overly relieving experience. Well, it was a relieving experience, but it wasn't one of my more pleasant movements. Get on with it, Jack. Fucking hands to play, man. This guy with 46% C-bet. Snap checks that flop. Let's start attacking a regular's capped range. Didn't take long. Didn't take long. He just snap folded. That was something Tom Dwan did really well on high stakes poker. When players capped their ranges, which they did against him because they were fucking terrified to play pots against him, he just put his foot down and just blew them off pots time and time and time again. I mean, he was a remarkable player to watch. Oh, excuse me, that's another big trump that you probably heard, but better out than into. I've got some poorly, I've got a poorly tummy this morning. Anyway, back to Trump. Literally back to Trump there. Not Trump. Fuck off, Trump. Back to Dwan. even. He just attacked players who were showing weakness. He just relentlessly attacked weakness. Yeah, he got trapped sometimes and people heroed him down from time to time, but he put them through the absolute mill, and it was a joy to watch. It really was a joy to watch. And yeah, I'm never going to be like Tom Dwan, but it's fun to watch, and then like to try and think about how can I incorporate some of the things he does into my game against kind of like the sort of reg I am, which is like a weak type regular, because he just used to beast weak type regulars, and I'm one of them. And if I don't want to be a weak type regular, what do I do? Or if I am one, how do I make it work for me against similarly weak type regulars? I guess that's what I'm trying to get at. Gonna go with a larger bet here. This guy's only got an 8% PFR, but we give zero fucks because we've got ace queen. We turn the absolute nuts over here, which is fucking beautiful. Call it off here. Almost certainly going to be behind. This player leads into us. We were behind up the top table. We're just going to check here. We're not going to bet again on the 6 of clubs. This guy raises, which is nice. Call here. Obviously. Lose to the 7-8. Tiny raise here. Need to try and trap him into something. It's really hard him to fold there for 18 blinds more. And then easy river shove. Now we set up a lovely SPR. He finds a fold. We obviously have the nizzles. Happy days. So yeah, we weren't surprised to see him have pocket jacks from the 66-8 wakes up with the 4x. Maybe we can like make super exploitable folds, but I'm not in the business of making super exploitable folds against fish. Right, what are we doing here on this turn? I think we're just going to barrel this turn because we just have like so much equity. We don't get there, and we're not going to try and bluff this guy. Having 2 hearts when we want him to have hearts is not a good situation. So he's going to give up. Oh, that's one of that. Well, maybe, who knows? Maybe he wouldn't have folded even. What do I know? Maybe he would just go call there. But yeah, I think like semi-bluffing 2 streets with a flush draw is good because you can build a pot and get there. But I think firing the 3rd barrel when your flush draw misses isn't really a good thing because you're blocking a lot of the hands you really want your opponent to have called with twice to then bluff them off. So yeah, I think that's like a leak that quite a few players have. Is like, I think if you're semi bluffing, I think you're better like to be semi bluffing with like gut shots and other things that don't heavily block the draws your opponent can have, because then like, they're more likely to get to the river with some weaker hands that you can bluff them off. Our spades. I think we're going to check back here. It doesn't have to have a flush, of course, but betting getting raised would really suck. We bet say 10 here and he jams. Puts us in a pretty shit spot. What do we beat realistically here? The check calls the flop. Not a lot. We lose to ace jack. We lose to all 2 pairs. We beat ace queen that didn't 3-bet pre. This guy 3-bets 9%, so he might 3-bet ace queen some of the time. We now lose to king queen as well, which we block a little bit. I'm just going to fold there. He has too many hands that Abbas beat there. He has too many value hands and not enough bluffs, in my opinion. So when people have too many value hands and not enough bluffs, Not a good time to be calling. Way too much limping going on here. He did it. He limp folded off the 8-blind stack. Well done, sir. Well done. 7.2x this time. Just the 7.2x open. If you're like a 5-L player or 10-L player on PokerStars, Party Poker or Triple Eight or whatever, tell me what you think when you see these games. That this is 16-L, this is 20-L, this is 16-L. When you see 37 10s, 49 19s, 61 3s, players like this guy and this guy and this guy, what is it that stops you from getting in touch with me and getting involved in these app clubs? What's the hurdle you just can't get over? That would have been nice to be able to spike a set there, but never mind. What is it that's stopping you? Is it a volume thing? Is it just a trust in the general unregulated market thing? Is it software? Because from from a poker player's point, from a pure just like I'm a poker player, I want to be in good games point of view. I mean, these are some of the best games you'll find, especially at No Limit Hold'em these days, which is a very, very kind of like it's a dead market in a lot of places, isn't it? You know, there's not that much fresh dead money coming into it. We actually can check back here, take a rare check back line with our second pair. So what is it that's preventing you from getting in touch? There's some barriers that I would like to break down with you guys who watch the videos. I know they enjoy them, but you're not reaching out and saying, yeah, tell you what, I'll take a shot at those games. What is it? What's the barrier? I'm not going to value about our King Jack here because this guy's really weak tight and he might just have some like ace 10 in his range. He decided not to bet. Pocket queens, fair enough. No beef with me. We're going to play this Queen Jack on the button. Hope he doesn't squeeze because we've got this maniac in the blind. I'd open the 6 deuce, but he doesn't have many chips. I think we'll not play this table 3-handed. We'll pause the video a moment and pull another table up. It shouldn't take long. We'll play this hand because we have 2 8s. I'm not going to be 3-betting. I mean, we could. In fact, maybe we should actually, in hindsight. Maybe we actually should. It's going to be way ahead of his range in a reg versus reg situation. Just going to bet small here, like less than 1/3 pot. Just if he's got any check folds, let's just have him folding them. If he doesn't have any check with his, if he's got a better hand than us, then we won't bother putting any more chips in. Not worried about getting squeezed here, so let's try and flop a set. Someone else has joined, so maybe we won't leave the table after all. Maybe we'll just leave it up and running. Hopefully the table will fill again quite quickly, and we don't have to do the annoying thing of sliding tables in and out. Yeah, I think a lot of the reason why I sometimes get bored by No Limit Hold'em is because rules that I don't even like very much, they kind of get ingrained in your brain, like stuff like, never donk bet, don't open certain hands from certain certain places, like be balanced, and a lot of stuff that you hear so many people saying, and you know that theoretically what they're saying is correct, but it just makes No Limit Hold'em very, very dull. And then you see like some of the more fun things you can do that you shouldn't possibly be doing theoretically, and then you'll watch people streaming, you'll watch people making like content for YouTube and things, and they'll get so triggered by some of the stuff, and they'll just play badly against it. I mean, good old Juicenberg, one of my favourite people in the world that I've never met, gets so fucking triggered by people donking into him. And to be honest, most regulars don't play very well versus that type of thing. So not only is it fun, you also get to trigger people, and they get them to make some mistakes. So I think that if I'm going to keep having No Limit Hold'em in my game thing, and I'm going to continue with the PLO. I think it's good. What I've learned from playing PLO last week or so is that if you play different games and you get relatively competent at them, you can take parts of the skill set you learn from one game and introduce it into another game, and it makes you different. It helps you see things in different ways. Makes you a bit less predictable, and I think just being like cognizant of strategies in other games can sometimes help you implement some cool different strategies into your own games. And then I've lost track of what we're saying. Yeah, if I'm going to be playing some No Limit Hold'em from time to time, and I don't want to completely abandon the game because I still like it, I just was getting really, really bored of it and what have you, because it seemed I was playing such a boring formulaic style. Then I'm going to be doing it in a way that I'm going to find more stimulating, taking some more, well, they use the word creative, don't they? What they might mean by creative is bad, but just taking more lines that aren't so formulaic and uninteresting. I'm just going to rip the fives here against the 10 big blind squeeze. And we lose the flip. Never mind. I wasn't taking enough chances. I was a very, very boring player. And being boring to watch isn't good for videos. Being boring to watch and actually being the guy fucking playing that boring style isn't fun. So yeah, I'm just going to be less boring as a player. But hopefully no less profitable. Oh, I keep farting. I've got the worst guts in the world. Queen 10 suited. Nice answer. 9 of clubs just for the sweat. Nope. Nope. No 9 of clubs for the sweat. So yeah, I'm going to keep playing PLO, especially at peak times when the games are really good. But don't worry, that you're not going to be seeing many more PLO videos because the numbers just don't stack up on my channel. The same engagement rate isn't there, and they don't serve as a recruitment tool. So yeah, rest assured, my Pot Limit Omaha adventure is far from over, but the making Pot Limit Omaha videos is a thing of the past, sadly. Sadly for me, because I enjoy doing it, but probably a blessed relief for some of my more long-term supporters. This table's pretty shit now, apart from this guy, but we'll play it for the rest of the video. We're probably going to be playing for like another 15 minutes, just to see if we can fuck around with some regs a little bit in some funky situations. Then I'm going to... Oh, it's pissing down. Then I'm going to go and visit Mother, have a coffee, get back home, watch Prime Minister's Questions, because that's what middle-aged boring cunts do on a Wednesday morning. Stroke dinner. And then, play some more poker this afternoon. Got a very, very easy schedule today. Sadly, one of the young men I support is having to self-isolate at the moment, and another one of the young people who we support, his parents have decided, because we're now in a tier 2 area, that they perhaps don't want him to, they just want to shield him a little bit. So my work at the moment is thin on the ground. It won't affect me financially. It will affect my well-being a little bit in terms of I feel like I've got less to do, because basically now I have no work apart from a couple of hours a week in a project I go into until November the 3rd. I've got basically 8 hours work between now and November the 3rd, which from a having time off and time to yourself point of view it's like having like 2 weeks holiday. But for someone who loves their work and who likes being involved in the local community and what have you, I am a little bit worried that my mental health's going to suffer a little bit in the next couple of weeks unless I can find ways to feel useful. But anyways, let's pause the video a moment. We'll get another table up. We have 2 kings. Just got back in time. Let's bump it right up. We've got an absolute table of joy here that we found, and it's another bit of wind. Jesus Christ, we've got 57 VPIP. Get in the pink section. 49 VPIP, 53 VPIP, and a 51 VPIP. Beyond delightful. Wow, so we've got the big 4-bet coming in here. I mean, we just jam and run into aces, I guess, but we'll see. I mean, jam is literally the only play here. And if we run into aces, then we run into aces. I'm glad we're not 200 blinds deep. That would suck. Wow, he folds. He finds a 26 big blind 3-bet fold. Nice. Yeah, look at this table. Beautiful. I think it's fair to say the app clubs, I think what's happening in these app clubs at the moment is that the higher stakes, like 100 nil and higher, there's more and more smart regs moving to those games because that's what smart regs do. You know, they understand they're less risk averse. Perhaps players that play 100 nil, 200 nil, 400 nil are less risk averse. They're more willing to take risks to get into good games. And then maybe, and this is no offense to any of you guys because I was the same for the longest time, maybe the nittier people with less life roll, kind of more risk-averse regulars that you find at the micro stakes, and I was one of those guys, so I promise you this is not meant to be an insult in any way. Perhaps they're more conventional and aren't in that much of a rush to move to these sites, but the micro stakes games, like up to 40, 60 and L, which is where most of the people who watch my stuff play, these games are still, as you can see, they're still fucking off the charts. I wouldn't actively be recruiting 100 and 200 nil players, especially for PP Poker, because PP Poker made a lot of good software upgrades lately, but that in turn has made it a more reg-friendly site. So at higher stakes, we're certainly starting to see more good regulars come across. But as you can see, these micro stakes games, these are 16 and 20 L games. They're they're still totally off the charts, and you guys should be in them. We're going to donk here. This is what we talked about earlier. I hope he raises so we can jam. Oh, we turn the nuts. He called really quickly too, so tells me he's either got a draw or a bluff catcher. I'm going to go really big on this river. Shame. Never mind though. I think that's the spot where lots of players there with the ace-3 suited would just have check called. And this is how the conversation would go. Yeah, we've got a strong draw, but it's a board that heavily favours his range because it was what, queen high. Maybe not heavily favours his range, but yeah, the common logic there would be not to donk out with our flush draw. It would be to check call. Like check raise your small flush draws, check call your ace-high flush draws because your ace-high still has some showdown value, etc. That's not as much fun, because what happens a lot is, that check through and you get to the turn and you turn the nuts, and there would have been 6 blinds in the pot with the turn nuts. I'm all about the pot building at the minute with wide portions of my range, and I'm not saying it's really good. What I am saying is it's more fucking fun. I think it's not that much less profitable. If not, it might not be any less profitable, but it's a damn sight more fun. So if I'm not really doing things that's going to eat into my win rate, but at the same time it's going to increase my fun rate, then yeah, I'm all for it. I'm all for it, and that should have been an open. Why I didn't open that is just triggering me. By the way, this might be the most prolific number of farts I've ever done in a video. I know I've done at least 3 now. I expect every one of them will be audible. If you get to this stage of the video, tell me how many farts you've heard. I think it's 3. But if it's more, or if you've only heard 2 or whatever, then yeah, please do let me know, because that sort of thing I find way more interesting than a man of my age should. Small 3-bet here, easy call, easy check and easy fold, I guess. Still check folding. Did not put a single chip in after the flop. I mean, I was never calling. When I checked, I don't know. Maybe you can go. No, it probably can't. Yeah, it's probably fine. Just feels like maybe you missed a bet there, but there's probably nothing I'm going to call with that's worse. Oh, this table's gone rotten, hasn't it? How long's to go? I've only got 5 minutes to go, so we're not going to bother switching tables out now, but this has gone rotten, this table. I'd like to defend the 7-4. I mean, it's a low rake environment here. Fuck it, we'll defend it. We're on video, we'll defend it. And then we'll donk it. because we've got a pair. And we'll win. Looks like this table's going to break, and I'm not surprised it's going to break because just wall-to-wall knits. And this particular table, wow, that's a big ISO raise. Almost certainly going to be a very strong hand. Get out of the way with that ace-10. We're going to find out because he's only got to put half a blind more in to see a flop. You know what? I've enjoyed making this video. I think I'm going to make another one tomorrow. Might put a monster video out tomorrow. Like fucking 2 or 3 hour session and just do the fucking lot. Bang. I've got my wife's going to be out at work tomorrow till 4 p.m. I'm going to have absolutely nothing else to do. So, anyone up for a 4-hour video tomorrow? If I get at least 3 people... No, hang on. I'll be careful I don't say something I'm going to regret here. If I get at least... Tell you what, for every person that says more in chat, I will do an hour capped at 4. So I will make up to a 4-hour video tomorrow. So we need to get, you know, this video is going to be uploaded probably around 1 p.m. UK time. So we need to get 4 people typing more before like 9:30 tomorrow morning for me to make a super long video. Do I want a 4-bet queens here against somebody 3-bets 2%? No, I do not. Not this deep anyway. Clearly can't fold yet. We can certainly fold when he pets 41.2 blinds on this turn. We can certainly fold. Oh, he checks. Club me one time. Come on, club. Let's have a club. Club! Nope. No club. No club. He wins. He wins. Nice answer. So, I think we'll play around to our blinds. So that's a stand up here. It's a stand up here. That's nice timing. And a stand up there. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed that. I felt remarkably positive making that video and I enjoyed it so much that I am going to make another one tomorrow. Probably for a Friday release. And the more comments we get, the longer it'll be. Take care everybody. Have a fantastic day and bye bye for now.